If you share your life with a dog, you already know the deep comfort of warm fur, soft eyes, and an eager tail thumping the floor at the sound of your footsteps. You also know the ache of wondering whether you are truly giving that loyal companion everything they deserve. Most of us buy good food, keep veterinary appointments, and tell our dogs 100 times a day that we love them. Yet we still make small, invisible mistakes, habits so ordinary that we barely notice them, that can leave a dog lonely, confused, or even afraid. The tragedy is that our intentions are loving. The result, however, can be exactly the opposite. By recognizing 10 of the most common missteps and replacing them with simple, consistent care, you can transform daily life into a conversation of trust, respect, and joy. All it takes is a willingness to see the world from your dog's perspective, and a promise to do a little better tomorrow than you did today. First, consider time itself. Dogs are social creatures wired to travel, hunt, and rest beside their packmates. When we leave for work at dawn and do not return until dusk, a dog does not interpret our absence as productive labor. They experience hour after hour of silence. That stretches like years. Some will howl, others will gnaw table legs, and still others will simply shut down into anxious sleep. None of that is disobedience. It is grief. If a neighbor or professional pet sitter can visit midday, if a half-hour at doggy daycare can break the monotony, or if we reserve a pocket of morning for a brisk walk before we leave, we reassure the dog that the pack has not vanished, that life is still moving and purpose-filled. Even a well-chewed Kong stuffed with frozen yogurt and kibble can become a puzzle that keeps the mind busy until the key finally rattles in the door. Just as serious is our failure to understand instincts that have survived millennia. When a terrier digs craters in the backyard, we scold the ruined lawn without realizing that the animal is practicing the very skills its ancestors used to flush prey. Instead of shouting, we can assign a corner of the garden where digging is. Aloud, soft soil, buried toys, and cheerful praise whenever the dog scratches in the right place. The yard stays tidy, and the dog enjoys the ancient satisfaction of earth under the nails. Every breed carries its own blueprint. Herders circle and nip, guardians patrol borders, retrievers carry household items as though they were game birds. When we respect those blueprints, channeling them into safe outlets, peace replaces conflict. Rules, however, give shape to freedom. A dog cannot memorize a rule that changes with the weather or our moods. One day we laugh as paws land on a visitor's shoulders. The next day we scold for the same leap because the guest is elderly or dressed in white. To a dog, the inconsistency is maddening. Choose the behavior you want. 4 paws on the floor perhaps, or a polite sit, and reinforce it every single time, no matter who walks through the door. Consistency is not harsh. It is a kindness that lets a dog relax, confident, in what will please the pack leader. When a dog finally masters that polite sit, we often forget the most crucial step: acknowledgement. Training books call it positive reinforcement, but to a dog it is simply clarity. A soft word, a scratch behind the ear, or a single treat tells the animal, yes, you chose correctly. Without that marker, the behavior floats in a void, neither confirmed nor rejected, and soon drifts away. Dogs do not perform good manners for moral satisfaction. They perform them because the pack rejoices. Celebrate often, tapering rewards only when the habit is rock solid, and watch cooperation bloom. The oi crate too can be a blossom or a thorn. Used well, it is a den, lined with familiar scent, stocked with a chew, draped with a blanket to mute the world. Used poorly, it becomes a jail. Shoving a frightened dog inside after an accident on the rug teaches only that confinement follows fear. Instead, introduce the crate as a sanctuary. Feed meals inside, toss treats through the open door, and let the dog choose to nap within before ever closing the gate. Soon, you will find them retreating there of their own accord, when thunderstorms rumble, knowing the den is a haven, not a punishment. Even dogs who adore their crates still require the wider world. The daily walk is more than exercise. It is the canine newspaper. Every blade of grass carries a story, every lamppost a signature. When we skip walks, energy festers into anxiety, and boredom sparks inventive destruction. A half hour of strolling, a chance to sniff, to see new faces, to move joints and lungs, can dissolve a day's worth of tension. If arthritis slows human legs, a friend with strong knees or a rolling pet stroller can keep the ritual alive. The point is partnership, shoulder to shoulder, breathing the same air. Sadly, few behaviors erode partnership faster than shouting. Dogs are masters of body language, tone, and scent. They do not speak English, and yelling simply replaces instruction with thunder. A firm no delivered at normal volume, paired with redirection toward the correct behavior, is enough. The quieter we are, the harder a dog tries to decipher the meaning. The louder we are, the quicker fear scrambles any hope of learning. Feeding, too, carries hidden pitfalls. Tossing kibble across the floor or lobbing scraps from the table may look playful, but it teaches frantic manners and risks choking. Imagine someone pitching dinner rolls at your face. Would you feel respected? Lower the bowl calmly, wait for a sit, and release the meal with a gentle cue. Mealtime becomes a ceremony of trust rather than a chaotic scramble. When accidents or misbehavior occur, as they inevitably will, scolding without guidance is like giving a child an algebra test without lessons. Pull the shredded shoe from the dog's mouth, offer a durable toy instead, and praise the instant those teeth touch the approved item. The dog learns what to do, not merely what not to do. Explanation, not anger, builds a bridge the dog can cross. Finally, attune your eyes to subtle signs of stress. Lip-licking in the absence of food, yawning when not tired, a sudden shake of the coat as though flinging off water, retreating to a corner when visitors arrive. Each is a whispered plea for help. Perhaps the collar is too tight, the house too loud, the stranger too insistent. Honor the plea. Adjust the environment so the dog feels safe. Safety begets confidence. Confidence begets obedience and joy. When we correct these 10 small mistakes, lengthy, solitude, instinctual suppression, inconsistent rules, unrewarded successes, punitive crating, walk deprivation, shouting, careless feeding, unexplained scolding, and ignored stress signals, we unlock the full, radiant personality of our dogs. They, in turn, grant us loyalty fierce enough to guard us through darkness, laughter bright enough to lift our hardest days, and companionship faithful enough to outlast words. Our dogs are already trying with all their hearts to understand us. Meeting them halfway is the least and the most we can do. We